Tinus Johannes De Jongh was born on the 31st of January 1885 in Amsterdam, Holland. His father was the rector of an institute for higher learning in Amsterdam and had powers of memory so great that he was able to play chess with 15 different people at the same time. This incredible power of memory was passed on to all the De Jongh children. Tinus lived in a cultural environment that had a great influence on his formative years. He was exposed to the Holland of 19th century Dutch art, which was founded on the meticulous use of intense light to create depth and feeling. Invented by the old master Rembrandt, this method was, to a great extent, the Impressionist mode of painting direct from nature.
Welcome to the Tinus De Jongh Memorial Art Gallery. We take you on a tour of his life in pictures. This is the earliest thing that we have of my father. It is a sketchbook when he was 5 years old. Looking through it, we see some excellent drawings of donkeys and animals, and further on there is the usual Dutch windmills, and towards the end he started his watercolors, and these are some of his first watercolors that he did. His greatest acclaim actually was when he put the head of the schoolmaster on the body of a chimpanzee on the blackboard at school. However, at the age of 10, his father got permission from the director of the Rijksmuseum to allow his son, the only boy ever allowed of under age of 18, to enter the Rijksmuseum and study the old masters by himself. This was quite an honor to him, and it did him in good stead eventually.
At 15, Tinus painted his own interpretation in oils of an article he had read in a boy's newspaper. The article related a story about redcoat soldiers breaking into a stable, searching for rebels. Only to be confronted by startled, angry blacksmiths. This painting became his most treasured possession that he kept until the day he died.
At the age of 16, when he finished his college, he then wanted to become a professional artist very much, but there was some opposition from his family about it, as they thought it was a very precarious occupation. And so it was decided to let him go into interior decorating school. And after 2 years, this certificate was presented to my father by no less a person than Paul Kruger, who had been exiled in Holland. Paul Kruger, when he gave that prize to this little boy, did not have any idea that this little boy is going to go to South Africa and bear a son, and that son, which is myself, was going to recreate Boekenhout Fontein, which is the farm where he lived and which had been destroyed. And this is the painting of Boekenhout Fontein as it is today. When he started his interior decorating, his heart wasn't actually in it, and after about 2 years he started intermingling it with painting Amsterdam, the old section, and one of the dilapidated buildings and canals. This is an example of a canal in Amsterdam, and this actually is an etching. And the next one is a snow scene of Kromboomstraat. He, of course, did pencil drawings of these places and also oil paintings. And this is an example of one of his oil paintings of that period, 16th century buildings. This is Old Amsterdam. This is the type of work that is now today in the possession of the Rijksmuseum in Holland, where he studied as a little boy.
Tinus was a very hard-working young artist. Working as an interior decorator during the day and painting town scenes at night, he still made time to cycle 50 kilometers to Den Helden, where he was courting the lovely Johanna Maria Verhoef, whom he met at the age of 16. In between decorating assignments, Tinus painted his first landscapes, which he presented to Johanna on their engagement. He painted these as a mark of the deep love and respect he felt for her. At this stage, Tinus was signing his name, M.J. De Jongh. Tinus said of Johanna that before he met her, his paintings were inclined to be mystic, to be too dull, and to be of rain and sad subjects. Johanna brought him unconsciously to see brightness and sunshine. Johanna and Tinus were married in 1911.
This is quite a unique example of different types of work that he did during the first 2 years of his marriage. This is a painting of a peacock on black velvet, which he painted on his wife's dress for her to go to the opera. And he thought that he could actually put this individual touch of his own onto her dress.
Tinus was commissioned by the Royal Ancient Society and the Archives of Amsterdam to paint De Dam, the square in front of the palace. This was due to the fact that this monument, called Nakia, in the center of the square, was to be removed. The new Nakia is more modern in design and was erected in memory of the fallen soldiers of the Second World War.
There came a time that he started getting a family and having children living around him. He then decided to do some Dutch interiors. It's the habit always of Dutch artists to make a typical Dutch fisherman's cottage or house. And there's one example here of a mother and two children, little girl. My father used as models my mother and my sister. It wasn't my mother, of course, but he used it as such. He's placed it in a typical old Dutch farmhouse. Here is another one of a woman with a newborn baby, and he also used my mother for this. They say it was myself because I was born on the 6th of April on my mother's birthday. And this was a pleasant surprise to her, I suppose. And this gives you also this interior of these plates and the plate rack, the clock and the cups, and all the paraphernalia that goes with these old fishermen's cottages.
Tinus always believed that every artist should discover his own technique according to his personal outlook and feelings. And although he became known as a town painter, with which he was able to identify easily, Tinus also took a lively interest in country scenes. The year 1914 saw the outbreak of World War I, when Tinus served in the Civil Defense Corps, training police patrol dogs until he developed a severe gastric ulcer. During